Well, all right.
All right.
All right. Hey, we wanted to just kind of tease you to make you think that we were starting, but anyway, family, this is the CSRN, our weekly video minutes, our podcast, and we come to you every week if the universe permits, and we talk about some of the things that we're doing that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got coming up in the future. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. We're just going to go ahead on in with the introductions. And not going to put the timer up because we're really trying to get out of here tonight. No, family, we're not trying to get out of here tonight, but
we've got volunteers to get to.
Thanks.
How about
thanks.
That?
All right.
Yeah, it's a little better.
And if it looks like I'm sweating,
I was going to say
it probably is. Looks like I'm getting ready to answer some questions. All right, but that's not the case. Little warm today.
Did a lot black man towel. I love it.
Right. That you know you old wid. Will you have a towel? All right.
Yep. At all times.
At all times. Hey, I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN along with Mike Leonardi and Drabil Bay. 7 years ago, they had this crazy idea that ordinary people could speak truth to power. They had an awesome event at the Frederick Douglass concerning police brutality. And then after that, they wanted to have what's called Community Solidarity Day. And here we are, 6-7 years later, still pushing the program. And today I have on my my thick rim brown glasses. I'll have my optical glasses on next week. So if you see Christian Moncrief, let her know, yep, I'm still wearing the glasses because they're mine.
That's right.
I paid for them, all right?
You didn't rent those.
No, absolutely not. And today I have on my Thanos for president.
Hey.
It says the hardest choices require the strongest will. All right, so that's what it is today. If you want to speak up for the poor, if you want to speak up for the oppressed, you got to make it happen. Just like Thanos said, well, I'll do it myself. All right. So we're here making sure it happens. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And this is the headquarters of Black Lives Matter, Justice or Else. And we're going to get into who's this wonderful sister to my left or to your right. Well, who are you? Right, over here. Who are you? And man, what do you got on?
Alrighty, well, hello everyone. My name is Ruth Leonard. I am the administrative lead for the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And today I am simply wearing my hair in thin braids straight to the back, as well as my tortoiseshell frame glasses and my educated activist t-shirt. Right. Oh, and I am a brown skin complected woman.
All right, so at this point, if we could, we're going to go through our mission statement, go through our guiding principles, and we have some awesome people that's going to be checking in soon today. We've got our sister Shawanda Johnson that has the dance studio right there on Central.
Studios.
Right there on Central. And you know what? When she gets on, I'm going to just have to just tell the truth. When I saw her, I thought it was going to be an older woman making, terrific moves like that. And I'm like, man, these young people, y'all killing it. Y'all killing it. So let's see if we can find our guiding principles.
Yes, indeed.
And today, our Kwanzaa word of the day is unity. This is from the Nguzo Saba in Umoja. Umoja means to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. And we're going to have a lot of unity coming up. So for right now, Ruth, did you want me to do the guiding principles? Did you want to do the mission statement?
Yes, I can do the mission statement.
All right.
All righty. So we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community based events that help to foster self development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right, thank you, Ruth. We're gonna read our. Hey, we're really moving through this.
Yeah, we
all
are.
right, all right. I feel like we're gonna be done by 6:15. I'll be
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
All right, y'all gotta stay for the volunteers.
We got things to do today.
All right.
It's okay.
All right, these are our guiding principles, and our guiding principles is kind of the glue that allows us to stick together. Our mission statement
That's
lets
right.
you know what it is, who we're for, and we're always for that. And sometimes you might see us advocating for other selves. That's
Mhm.
all well and good, but we know what our root is. All
That's
right. Our guiding principles make sure that we don't eat ourselves. All right. Make sure that we don't implode.
That's
All
right.
right. And that's hard. That's hard to do.
It
All
really is.
right. Doing this work.
That's why we have the guiding principles.
That's right.
Help keep us organized.
All right. CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist, think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
That's our guiding principles. Before we take a short break, I wanted to ask you, Ruth, man, I think that we met you in 2016.
Oof.
Maybe after a year of us, messing up enough. All right. We weren't a hot mess then.
Oh my gosh. No, you were not.
What's been your journey with, grassroots activism, speaking truth to power, and also having a leadership role in all of this and having a life too? How have you been able to balance all of those things?
So one of the things that I am really thankful for in working with CSRN is the emphasis on the importance of self-care. I think that before I joined CSRN, I thought self-care was just like taking a bath or reading a book or just doing the like adult coloring books with like the mandalas. And I realized that true self-care is doing the hard work. So self-care became going to therapy. It became learning how to speak up for myself and learning how to throw out ideas, and following through with those ideas. I think that I do that a lot as an educator of just like trying things out in the classroom and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And before I joined CSRN, I was a lot more apprehensive in doing that. Just in everyday life, as far as like coming up with ideas for things to like do for the community.
Right.
And CSRN has been really instrumental in taking an idea that I had 8 years ago. Coming from Maryland, we had an event called For Sisters Only, where it was basically you take a stadium and you create a space for Black women to just be Black women. So there are performances, there's resources, it's everything that a Black woman could want. And I wanted to bring that to Toledo. And I tried for a long time and I couldn't quite figure out the right pieces to put it together. And working with CSRN, I realized that I can make the For Brothers Only. And maybe that's what the community needed. And so that's where I love the ability for CSRN to be able to give me the space to try to work through all of the progress of creating a For Sisters Only, but then also letting me know that there's this great opportunity to create For Brothers Only, which is essentially what Juneteenth is this year. It's a space for Black men to come together and to have a space that is exclusively for their health and well-being, so that they don't have to worry about being awkward or having awkward conversations. It's just a space for all men to come together and just enjoy that time together. So I think CSRN has taught me to be able to kind of facilitate dreams and ideas and, you know, do the work to be a good person outside of just work.
Right. And I know that we got Mother Diane Gordon in our green room. And, you know, as you notice, we haven't had any commercials or anything like that because it's really about Juneteenth right now.
Right.
Really about Juneteenth. Before we get to Mother Gordon, I've been a part of at least 3 of the things that you took a thought. Well, maybe I know I've been part of more of the things that you had a thought and you made it happen. That's when we say Ashe, one who changes a thing, one who makes a thing happen. And there was no such thing as a Black Lives Matter scholarship award.
Right.
And that was a thought. I wasn't thinking of that. And I love getting new knowledge and listening to our young people think about things that I would never think about. I was still on picket signs and you were. So hopefully later on, I would like to, you know, just talk about the process that begat the Black Lives Matter Scholarship Award, or the Black Lives Matter Awards, the virtual. All right, that was fun. That's never been done. Or Black Men Unfiltered.
Yes,
that's never been done. And there was another event that you had. It was concerning young sisters. Was it Push Out?
Oh, yes. Push Out, the criminalization of Black girls in schools.
Right. So I've been a part of seeing the genesis of so many ideas. All right. And they hit the right tone because I'm an organizer, I'm a planner, and I love seeing things organized and planned a few levels above my pay grade. So I'm just saying that you really got it going on. Hey, listen, family, it's about Juneteenth. We're going to bring in Mother Gordon. She is the founder of Toledo Kwanzaa House, the first person that I've ever seen organize Kwanzaa, the first person I've ever seen organized Juneteenth back in 19. Well, I'm giving away my age. When I say, you know, you old. You start out with
1900 and
right. So we have Mother Gordon here. How you doing, sister?
I am wonderful. How are you both doing this evening?
Just
doing
fine.
well. Thank you.
Hey, and we got the earphones fixed this week.
Yes, we do.
All right,
I can
all right,
hear. I'm so
man.
happy.
Sister Gordon, we are stepping things up over here. That means somebody's telling me what to do.
Oh my gosh.
All right. All right. You're not making no mistakes today.
That's
No,
right.
ma'am. No, ma'am. Hey, look, we've got a big week coming up, whereas
Yes, we do.
and because, you know, I let everybody know that my first Juneteenth was at Southern Missionary Baptist Church on
Yes.
Indiana. And this is when I had strange and unusual, stupid things to say about Juneteenth. The same way I had strange, unusual, and stupid things to say about Kwanzaa. All right. So I've gone through some growth. All
Look
right.
at you.
I've gone through some growth.
Wonderful.
While you're here, could you talk to us about the importance of recognizing Juneteenth and what's happening this Saturday? And then there's some, look, you had an event, a pre-Juneteenth event. All right.
Yes, I did. Yes,
All right,
I
talk
did.
to us about that. And thank you for being here.
Okay. Is that thanks for allowing me to have this opportunity to share with you. Our pre-Juneteenth was about the quilt. And the quilt was to remind us of those that were lost during the COVID. And we
Right.
still have that issue today. And we had those persons to come in, take a piece of cloth, and recognize their individual person or family member that they lost to COVID. The quilt was completed and sent to New York. And on June the 18th, they're going to be showing it in Detroit and Toledo and also in New York. We had 40 names, 40 squares that represented Toledo. And it was just a wonderful opportunity that was given and shared by the sponsors here in Toledo, Kathy Greenlee, and the organization that sponsored it was the Inglewood Investment. And so there are people not only in Toledo, but outside of Toledo that has given us encouragement to continue to work towards sharing our love and compassion with others. And we know that it was very difficult for those families to lose a loved one, but we don't want to forget them. We don't want to forget them. And so that was one of the projects that is we did prior to coming up this week. We are excited, though, to know that we have a wonderful celebration coming up. And it is also why we celebrate Juneteenth is really important because we've come a long ways from 1865. And you know, but we still got a long ways to go.
That's right.
Because we have got to understand the importance and the power that we have when we stand together and understand that we need to love more and love ourselves enough to have respect for our elders and to understand that if we did it before we came on the Mayflower, we can do it again.
Right.
You know.
You know, Ruth and I, we were talking earlier about self-care, you know, especially if we're involved in activism, we put a lot out.
Yes.
But we haven't been, you know, we haven't been doing this long. However, your first Kwanzaa was, what year was your first Kwanzaa?
It was in 1968, I believe.
Okay. All right, so you're still here, and I'm positive, just like Juneteenth, when you try to educate people on Kwanzaa, I'm positive you got some pushback. Why would I want to do that? You know, I don't do
Well,
stuff.
I think that much of the misinformation comes from people who sharing it who do not know.
Mm.
Right.
And a lot of times people try to share information with others that they have no basic understanding of the Nguza Saba. And what does it really truly mean? It's not just a 7 day celebration, it is a universal celebration, that it is done every day, that we try to unify our people, educate our people, talk about how we spend our money and economics, and we have been so creative to be able to open businesses and re-educate our people, that is so important that we share that information, but it must be true information. It must
That's
be
right.
accurate information and not something that someone just thought of off the top of their head. And that's the reason why I love Juneteenth and I also love Kwanzaa, because it's something that you can practice. And with Juneteenth, it's about education and hoping that we don't go back to enslaving ourselves and enslaving our mind to the point we lose sight on the real purpose for all of us being here.
All right, so I'm going to bring up a flyer on the screen.
Hmm.
All right, this is
Yeah.
happening. It's I think is that to say the second annual? Or is it-
This is the second one that presented by the Frederick Douglass Center.
Right.
But I have done many Juneteenths at St. Martin de Porres, the University of Toledo, Southern Missionary Baptist Church. I've done Juneteenth many times. But this is the Frederick Douglass second annual event. And we're excited because we've added something to the Juneteenth. Mama used to cook and make cakes and pies. So we're having a bake off. We got some
Oh,
pound cakes and sweet potato pie and maybe some red velvet cake. And we're going to have a bake off.
All right.
And then yes, and we have our judges are ready to taste it too. We have also added a
I think I
gallery.
signed up, Mother Gordon. I think I signed up for the wrong job. I'm sorry. I'm coming home. All right.
No, sir.
All right,
When
man.
you are done.
All right.
But we also added the gallery. The gallery is our local artists and some young ones too that would like to showcase their artwork. And so there is the gallery that will be doing Mrs. Alice Gray's Brian Dunn. And we have Harry Terrell. And I think Mr. Yusuf is having his daughter perform.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I think she's either 4 or 5. She's doing the Black National Anthem. And so we have artistry everywhere you look. We're having the children's day filled with activities and art. And we have the art museum that's going to be doing blown glass for the kids to show them how it's done. And they're going to suggest how they would like to see some glass blown, whether it's a dog, cat, or whatever.
All right.
And, and they can't give it to them that day because the material is too hot, because it's 1,000 degrees when they blow the glass. But we'll be able to get it back, and they're going to bring it back to the Frederick Douglass, and we can either share that with the children or leave it on display.
Oh.
And so we're excited with our entertainment section, because we have the drum call will start around 10:55. And
Okay.
then we have a welcome by our CEO, Reggie Williams. And that's when the young lady, Mr. Yusuf's daughter, Nee, will be doing the Black National Anthem. We have a lot of young people who are going to be sharing with us, because we have the Cross Youth Church, directed by Sean Watson. She is the director, and we have Mr. Oxner with his poetry. We have the Newsom Singers, the Buffalo Soldiers. Mr. Earl Mack and his group will be there. Norris Finley and Ramona Collins is performing from 2 to 3.
I think I
And
signed
then,
up for
yeah,
my
and then
yeah, okay.
we have
Signed up
a
already.
legendary blues man, Bobby G. He's going to be around 3:30, and then we're going to present the presents for the Bake Off and who won the Bake Off. And
Nice.
then we have Mr. Arthur Bishop and the Funk Band. They're going to be doing a 2-hour session. And we may have some additional people that may surprise you because we have a Miss Toledo who is going to be running for Miss Ohio. And she is our special guest for our
Well, that's
young
awesome.
All
ladies. So
right.
she is going to be there, and I'm excited to have her to join us and talk to the young ladies about their goals and objectives, and just what would you like to do with your um, young years, as far as preparing for a pageant or getting involved with activities of young people. So we're very excited. And I think that when we look at what we can do as a community, I am so glad to see that it has grabbed on, taken
That's right.
place in
Mhm.
the city, whether it's at the Frederick Douglass Center, at Smith Park, downtown. We
Mhm.
need to celebrate ourselves and our freedom to be able to do this. So I'm very excited to be able to know that we're all in agreement of sharing Juneteenth in the community.
That's right.
That's awesome. Hey, Ma, we got I got a couple minutes left. I wanted to ask you, why the focus on? Some people might say, well, what does Juneteenth have to do with young people? And it seems like you have a lot of focus on young people this year. And I mean that,
Yes.
I don't have anything against that, not at all. But what would you say when people ask? We ask some silly questions because I would have been asking this question a few years ago
Yeah, you
when
would.
I was okay. You could have just said, no, you wouldn't.
No, you would have.
Oh,
Yeah.
why the
Why would you? Why would you ask that? Is
you know
that
what?
what you want to know? Why
Well,
would you ask that? Why
Uh-oh.
would you want to know about Juneteenth? Because it's part of your history.
That's right.
It is a part of your history. And everything about the African American put on a ship and brought here. And
Mm-hmm.
once you got here, you were
Mm-hmm.
still enslaved. And when you became free, were you actually free?
Right.
So you have to, don't ever leave out your history because
that's right.
it is a way of repeating some bad things if you're not careful and aware of
Mhm.
education on that part of your history. So I think that what we want young people to understand that whether it happened in 1800s or 2000, your history is important. And if you don't know your history, you fail to repeat the bad part of
Mhm.
enslaving yourself and enslaving your mind and allowing people to tell you who you are instead of allowing yourself to say who you are. So it's quite important that they understand why we celebrate this freedom that we have and rightly deserve.
All right,
That's right.
beautiful. So, can you give everyone the rundown once again? What's happening regarding the second annual Juneteenth celebration at the Doug? What time is it? What time does it?
Okay, the our trucks and vendors will be setting up between 9 and 11. We'll have a drum call at 10:55, and we're starting our welcoming at 11 o'clock. Our 11 after that, we have our Black National Anthem. We have the Cross Youth Choir. We have Mr. Oxner, a poet. We have the Newsom Singers, the Buffalo Soldiers. We have Mr. Norris Finley, who's another poet, Ramona Collins, She'll be there from 2 to 3. And we have legendary bluesman Bobby G. We have the presentation of the Bake Off winners, Arthur Bishop and the Funk Band. And they'll be doing a wonderful 2-hour session from 4 to 6. And we're going to have food trucks. Our food trucks are from all over. We have some from Columbus, Ohio. We have some outside of the city as well as in the city. But we got this shrimp and grits. It's going to be the bomb.
All right.
All right now.
All right, family. Thank you, Mother Gordon. And if you want to check out that flyer again, you can check it out on our page, CSRN. You can check it out on Diane's page, on Diane Gordon and Reggie Williams. So we have a lot. We have a lot of, and this started from the first Juneteenth that I saw, and there was no one else. All right. All right. And I'm a
and also is that we're very fortunate that on Friday, the day before, we have almost a 2-hour or 4-hour media blitz from New York and Detroit about Juneteenth. And so they're going to be interviewing some of our special guests. So we're really excited.
That's
We're
awesome.
excited.
That's awesome.
So excited for you all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited just to be here to tell you about it.
That's right.
Well, we
That's
love
right.
you. We love you. We love you. We love you. And we thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you, Mother
Thank
Gordon.
you.
Hey, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come right back. That's our mother, Diane Gordon. The first person that I've ever seen do Kwanzaa. That was in the 19s. The first person I saw do Juneteenth, that was in the 19s. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. We'll be right back after.
And you don't want to tell them how old you are? Is that what it is?
No, I'm just letting them know that for the people that think that Kwanzaa and Juneteenth started in 2020. Some people try to say that. All right,
they do.
Come on,
They're wrong, but
no. I was there. All right.
Oh my gosh.
That made me 20.
Thank you.
But anyway,
Take care.
all right.
Bye, Mother Gordon.
We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. This program has fatherhood classes. We'll teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, I would say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man.
Get my bling out.
All right. Hey, we are back. This is the CSRN. That's our weekly video minutes, or we call it our weekly podcast. Family, usually when we're having our podcast, you might see Jody Summers, Spoken Truth, Tears of the Wounded, Child of the System. He comes on last. However, tonight for our Juneteenth program that we're having this Saturday, 12 to 4 at Smith Park, we're having our volunteers coming to our podcast studio, and they're going to get their marching orders from our administrative corps, the lead of our administrative corps. And family, we're trying to push things along. So let me just start out with you. How you doing, Jody? How you feeling, bro?
Still alive, enjoying life, getting ready for awesome rest of summer and never having any more free time. I got some more hats.
Oh, okay.
But ready for the two-day adventure with 3 different vendor events.
All right, that's awesome. Hey, listen, and I'm putting you in a tough spot because as you see, we've got Julian Mack, who's the spokesperson for CSRN. He's going to have his loose ends that he's going to tie up, but we want to.
I'm off of work, but you're sounding electronic there.
I know. We've got some things going on in the background, so hey, we're gonna have to work with that right now.
What happens? Hopefully, it's not on the live feed.
Yeah, I hope not. When we talk about 5 minutes of heat, what would you have for us today, brother?
Well, you know, being a prolific writer, you write about everything you live through, situations and stuff that comes up. I actually have a piece for Juneteenth called Pertly Smile that I wrote in 2019, but we're not reading that today.
Oh,
what we're reading today is the piece that I wrote this year for Black History Month as part of the Childhood Trauma series, and it's called, dealing with paper in the wind and stuff, it's called I Am Black History. So that's what we'll be reading today, is for this historic holiday coming up and all that good stuff. Because again, you know, we are history makers. We wear our own brands and support our communities and our organizations with our dollars that we invest back into the community, not a big box store.
Beautiful. Awesome.
All righty. So, thank you. Sounds great, Jeanette. Okay. So y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's begin Peace. I am Black history. I am Black history. My ancestors sacrificed, bled, cried, pleaded, and prayed to their ancestors for me to live to see today. My ancestors were stripped of their history, taken from their land, and given another tongue to speak fluently in the language that propagates the rewriting of their history. I am Black history. Still, that wasn't enough. After the chains came off, ships broken down and monetized for the worth of a drop of blood, we existed in limbo. My great-grandmother was a slave. My great-grandmother was a sharecropper. My grandmother had to live through the trauma of the civil rights era and Jim Crow rule. My mother had to live through the politics of gentrification, redistricting, the war on drugs, project precipitation, welfare for the broken generations of curses left by the well-fed to complain for their part in history and the separation of family due to court rule. I am Black history. You tell us to build with the scraps that you give us, the meager remnants of a country that we helped build off the backs, blood, and sweat of people who were ripped from their families, torn from their homes, and told that you are savages, yes, savages that belong to us. You burn, bomb, and massacre any congregation of people that find hope within themselves. Tulsa, Galveston, Detroit, Black Wall Street, Dearborn, Black Panthers, SNCC, NAACP, Black Lives Matter. I am Black history. My family tree looks like a tattered and torn tapestry of broken buds and dead limbs that still somehow flourish to bear fruit. You brainwash our children with falsified history, only highlighting your moments of accomplishments, editing out the struggles of my people, the success of my people, the strength of my people, the resilience, yes, resilience of our blood, giving us symbolisms of heroes that you personally pick, consoling us with awarded inventors and creators who never got the recognition they deserved while they were alive. So it's just sit here and take this. I am Black history. I live today because my ancestors didn't quit. That strange fruit you hung from those trees, bucks you tried to break, history you tried to erase, and women that you mercilessly raped, birthed me. The blood that they spilled runs through my veins. Their cries out for freedom flow through my lungs, and their memories keep me standing strong with my head held up high, answering to no less than sir or king because they filled me with pride. I am Black history, and you will never, no, never forget me. In peace.
All right, and as always, we snap our fingers. Thank you, brother Jody. And before we bring Julian on to wrap up some loose ends, man, big shout out to our chat, Sister Jeanette Martin. She says Ruth Black activist is an asset to Toledo. I think she spelled Ruth wrong. I think it's supposed to be WASHING. All right, it's all right. There's some haters in the house if you see them. All right. Tony Tisdale, thank you. Hey, Julian was on there. All right, that's what's up. Hey, thank you so much, Jody. Thank you so much, brother. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you online at all of the events. I don't know how you've been to events at the same time, but I saw you do
sacrifice, work, love
right.
for my community. I choose to do this versus placate myself by having something that I can buy or be celebrated with. If I want to see the work done, I must do it. So it means some sleepless nights, but hey, at least The community and the world sees a different version of Toledo than what mass media shows them.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to do a positive pivot. We have our brother Julian Mack, spokesperson for CSRN. Before we even start, what are you? Who are you? And what are you wearing? You got a lot of stuff.
I got a lot going on, huh?
Yeah. Like at that press conference.
Yeah, that's what. All right, so I got a Juneteenth shirt on. This is Freedom Day. I'm wearing 2 chains, one with the Solidarity fist, and the other it says Grateful. And then I'm wearing Omega hat, which is short for Omega Sci-Fi, and it has the year 1911 on it, which was the year the first Black fraternity was founded on an all-Black campus, November 17th, 1911 at Howard University. Root to the Q's.
Say that then. All right. Hey, listen, I know we got a lot going on, and we want you to pack as much in the shortest amount of time. And then Ruth's going to be like, he should have a few more minutes. I'm like, that ain't what you said.
That ain't what Ruth said.
Not earlier.
Ruth be like, it's my turn again.
Yeah. And the key word is again. All right. Like she ain't had no turn.
So let me tell you this story real quick about the we're gonna go from funny to serious. Why, like, people think sometimes I think people just see me, or they may see a clip of me being the spokesman, and they don't always see all the work and the behind the scenes things that go into it. I'm the spokesman. I'm not the administrative core. I'm not the treasurer. I'm not, like, all of us play a very important part in making this thing go. And the novice may just see me talking and think that that's all me or just me, and it's not, right?
What?
And I'll give you a perfect example today. Not only was there I'll say it now, it's already on the news, right? We got the press release out, right? And there was a little bit of a delay with that. But so I was wearing several different hats. As you know, we have lots of collaborative partners, right? With CSRN, and sometimes I can speak. The reason I can speak confidently is because there's familiar people around me, Brother Washington, Jody, and Ruth, and I can feel their energy. I can feel when they want me to pull it back in, shorten it up, or go ahead, man,
That's
get it
right.
in, get it in, say that, right? And so,
that was good.
Let me just say, like, I was kind of on not sure which ground I was gonna be on today.
Yeah,
and so, I wore my dashiki, full dashiki.
Okay.
I'm talking pants, the shirt, and all that. I also had my Brothers United shirt on underneath the dashiki and like some dress pants. And then I had my Juneteenth shirt on top of it with my Omega hat. And then Ruth kept looking at me like, why are you sweating so hard? And I'm like, I really am. I'm like dripping sweat. And I'm thinking, like, maybe it's because Brother Washington's not here. I'm a little nervous, not realizing that I had 2 layers of clothes on.
That's right.
And it's a heat advisory today. And like, I'm tripping.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And I just want to say that to say, like, one, I just want to give credit to the team. You know what I mean? A lot of I really want to stress that, right? We are a team. We're like Voltron or the big Power Rangers Megazord, right? We're the fist. Thank you, Jody. And so, like, when it all comes together, we're powerful. You know what I mean? But me, just as an index finger, it can be broken very easily.
Black Avengers.
So, I just wanted to say that, to really underline the point of how much I value and appreciate all of you. Because we say this all the time, but it's so true. With our unity comes our strength. So when you see me, see everybody else. I really believe that. Now, to the press conference, or to just this Juneteenth event, I really want to just take a moment to stress on some different levels why this is so important to me this year. There's so much going on. And this is an event that has so much depth and weight to it. It takes a moment to process everything that is a part of this heavy event. So first things first, right, is my fraternity. Right, my fraternity has done a prostate cancer drive for years, decades now.
Right.
And prostate cancer disproportionately affects Black men. Right. And one of the cool things about this particular Juneteenth and the prostate cancer screening, I just want to throw out there, is it's non-invasive. Right. So you don't have to worry about anybody putting anything up your booty. Let me just say that. Like, yo, let's be real here. This is a prostate cancer screening. That's what happens oftentimes when people get that. Right? This is going to be simply a blood test. Okay? That didn't just happen, y'all. Like, that had to be intentional. And so I want you all to know that this is something that you should look forward to, and you should get tested. My grandfather, on my mother's side, who I never met, died from prostate cancer. And me being at 37, I realized that that's something I could be at risk to get. And so on Juneteenth this year, I'm going to get my first prostate cancer screening, and I encourage you all to do so as well. The resources aren't there for you to look at, right? In order for them to actually be beneficial for us, we've got to use them. All right. So show up, get that taken care of. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. But I want to add, I know we're looking at the clock. I got about 7 minutes.
7 minutes ago, but we all good.
Yeah.
We all good.
So
we all good.
I can't ignore the fact, this is an event that, so in thinking about my mortality, right, in a very real way over the past year, I've done a lot of thinking about that, right? And as I've delved very deep into the recovery community, right, my mortality has become very evident. We're losing a record amount of people to the opioid epidemic and
that's right,
mental health crisis in general, right? It's something that I've faced personally. And so I had to think, right, like what, my fraternity, the prostate cancer drive was driven by a brother who, passed from that. I couldn't help but wonder what would happen if I died on February 1st, 2021. Well, what would I want to have happen? Well, I would want Narcan given out. I would want people to know how to use it. Right? I'm a firm believer in harm reduction, in that every single person in this city and beyond should have Narcan and know how to use it, because you never know when you're going to have an opportunity to be a hero and save somebody's life.
That's right.
And so I really believe that had to be a component of that. And then once we started adding that, well, the snowball really started going downhill. And it's like, yo, why don't we add this? Why don't we add this health piece? Why don't we add this health piece? And thanks to our partners, we were able to add all of these health pieces, from glucose screening to really a long list of resources that we can have to make sure that we're healthy. Thank you for putting that on the screen. First aid training, CPR, right? These are stuff that we need to know. At the press conference, I gave an analogy, right? If we were in the dark, you're in the dark, and all of a sudden, boom, you're surrounded by nothing but light, it's disorienting. It takes you a moment to realize everything that's different about your environment, right? It's not like you're going to immediately know, oh, this is light, if all you've known is darkness, right? And I equivocate that to exactly what we went through, right? When, you know, generations of Black folks, all they knew was being enslaved. They knew it was wrong,
Right.
but there was no like clear path on what to do with your freedom. And so clearly, right, when we look at where we are today, there are things and there are aspects of our pure existence here in America that still do not qualify as being free, which is why we have to even say that our lives matter.
That's right.
That Black lives matter, right? And so in thinking of that, right, and in thinking of, you know, we've held signs as long as you can hold them. We've marched as long as you can march. We've lobbied as hard as you can lobby. Okay, you know, we have begged them to do what's right as much as we can.
That's right.
At some point, right, the, you know, Kwanzaa principles of self-determination have to kick in for ourselves, and we have to think, what can we do that is in our own reach?
Right.
What do we have the self-determination to increase our level of freedom here on this plane and this lifetime and this time, right? And that is health, and that is our relationships with our family, right? Specifically fatherhood, right? When children have involved fathers, the entire community thrives, right? And so we know that there are systemic barriers that Black men go through, right? We know that this exists, but somehow this conversation gets disconnected or antiquated, you know, when we talk about, so we know that like the median income that Black folks earn based on education level or whatever is much lower than just about every other demographic. But then when we compartmentalize that about what it means to be a provider in the home,
right,
we disconnect. We have this whole conversation about showing up and being a provider, and many Black men like myself in the past have felt inadequate as a father due to systemic barriers that have existed towards economic stability. Like that, when we talk about being involved or what we expect or what we think it means to show up, like there has to be a connection here that I think a lot of people aren't making with the barriers that have existed and building a bridge to connect real people to the resources so that they can get over those barriers.
That's beautiful.
Right. And in a lot of ways, that is the work that I wake up and do each day with Brothers United.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Is we try to remove barriers and make it so that, you know, fathers can thrive and be their best self by, you know, having a pathway towards self-sufficiency, right? And oftentimes that helps with there are lots of programs and initiatives at Pathway, like the home relief program, where people can, you know, get help with their rent. That can help folks get over that hump, right? So that they can show up in the way that they need to, especially fathers. And so when we include all of that, and when we include the fact that it's Father's Day also, right? How can we empower fathers?
Right.
How can we empower ourselves? How can we live longer, you know, regardless of what the police decide to do or not do? What is in our reach that we can control? And so all of these things coming together, right, I believe is one of the most revolutionary events that has ever happened in Toledo. And when I think about you know, collaboration or what we want to see in the future or anything like that, the growth of power in Toledo's Black community. I mean, it has to start somewhere.
That's right.
Right. And we have a variety of different partners that have came together in ways that I don't think has quite been done before, and not been corporately dominated or not people powered. Right. Best believe, like, we have the autonomy to be able to say what we want about our freedom, about our history at our event, and to tell the truth. And so that is, I think, specifically unique. And I'm just grateful for that. And I think I'm reaching my time. So I'm gonna go ahead and how does Sister Maxine Waters say, I yield my time.
Yeah.
But I just want to stress. Yeah, and lastly, I'm gonna just go do like the preachers do. And lastly, brothers and sisters, every single, very, very often, we have every day we see things on the news that are devastating, right? That are very sad. When talking about the deaths that happen, or seeing the murders that are on the news, like George Floyd or Michael Brown and all of that. And so what does it mean to have and we understand and know the impact that can have on a life, like one bad day, and how that can expound and cause waves, a domino effect on generations. Well, I believe that if hurt people, and if bad things can lead to some bad things, then the same thing can happen with positivity. And that this one event over these 4 hours can really cause a revolutionary change and a domino effect in our community by us having our own self-determination to be able to take our destiny in our own hands, and to preserve our very own and our family's very own Black life.
All right. And beautiful, you well under time. All right. Hey, listen, Jody, we're going to just close out with our All Lives Can't Matter, but I wanted to really, see if there was something that we left out that you needed to say.
Yeah, just try and make it out to the list. I put another 100 flyers downtown, not just us, because this is our community, our city, our tribe. It is everybody. So if you got an event, still post it on the page. We'll approve it. It doesn't matter whether you're in Florida, Texas, New York, California. If you are doing something to improve the lives of your community or educate them, let us know. I mean, we're not just trying to uplift ourselves. And other than that, you'll see me a little bit everywhere after we're done with our event. I know there's something going on at the Uptown Green. I'm not sure if that was on our flyer from 4 to, I believe, 8.
That's happening this year.
Because I just saw Dash as I was leaving out, but that may have just been put together. But it's the Uptown Green. They're doing something there. There'll be vendors and stuff like that. And afterwards, you'll see me at Main Street for Bubba because I also do raves. A friend of mine, when I was handing out the flyers, asked me the other day, is this just for Black people? And I've never really been asked that question in all these rooms, because I don't go, whether I'm writing a book or film or doing something for the community, I know I'm Black. It doesn't come off. So I'm not going in saying this is only for us. I'm saying that this has been so long we don't uplift us. We are, but you're welcome. I'm actually part Native American. My great grandmother, Azalee Brown, was a Blackfoot, full-blooded. So I'm a lot of things, a melting pot of America. My grandfather was a Caucasian man. So I don't see this is just for us, because I'll kick the door down anywhere.
All right. Beautiful. Hey, listen, family. I think our volunteers have already started coming in the room, and they're waiting to receive instructions. And just for instance, we're going to have our health resources, prostate exams, oral cancer screenings, blood pressure, blood glucose, COVID testing and vaccine, CPR training, Narcan training. Julian talked earlier about harm reduction. For the young people, we've got the bouncy houses. Toledo Fire Department with their trucks are going to be it's going to be present. We've got our Juneteenth mascots. Never heard of a Juneteenth mascots, but we're going to have them anyway. All right. We're going to be screening Black Men Unfiltered, a mini series, as well as Sons of Toledo that you can find. Jody Summers, Child of the System, Spoken Truth, Tears of the Wounded. All right, in that. Pathway is going to be there with rent payment. Family, come on. I'm behind in my rent, so I'm probably going to be first in line. Habitat for Humanity, get out the vote, voter registration. Sage Kamani, she's going to have her jewelry. We're going to have Intune Fitness and all of the health products that our sister Tanika Camilla has. The Black Brilliance competition winner. Other performances, Toledo Design Collective, Inglewood's going to be there. Yeah, we're going to be talking about what is Juneteenth, but we're free to unify. We're free to organize. Or if you didn't know, now you know. Mm-hmm. Everybody. All right. We give it away.
That new? Did you come up with that yourself?
I just did. All right. I just did. Off the top of the dome. I used to rap, so I know what to put in and what to take out. We're going to have a bike giveaway, air fryers giveaways, free hot dogs, hamburgers. Yep, we're going to have water, chips, juice, and much more. So family, be there. And as always, we say all lives can't matter until
Black lives
matter.
And
Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Yay, yay.